Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online, and I realize it has been quite a while since I have actually done this, so I'll give a little bit of a, mini channel update to start this stream. But as I do that and settle into all that and let people settle into this, I am just getting these subscriber town services because I am going to be returning to my Burglar and Annuminas questing. So as far as I know, my return home skill takes me to Annuminas, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so we might have to do some traveling. We'll see where I end up with this. And it does look like we ended up in Annuminas, but as far as I know, I am ready to start the quest with Orchalwe or Orchalwe. I'm not entirely sure how to say his name because a lot of CHs are pronounced like it would be like Calwe. But this one sounds like it might be Chowie instead, but I'm not entirely sure. But that is what I think I am starting today. I'm so confused with my character because I had to take him out for a recent video I recorded. I think it's one I've uploaded with my class trait points guide. And I had to do a lot of that on the Burglar, but I'm really confused with my quest log, trying to find everything. And if you all hear some background noise, I just heard my air conditioner kick on. That is just going to be how it is in the summer. So hopefully it is not too loud because it is behind the microphone and behind some monitors at least. But yes, it does look like I have a few quests here. We have to aid him with 3 different things to start. So for his quest, we have the monuments of Angmar. So I should go ahead and do that one, Untoward Aggression. And then the Earthkin of Limakota, don't need that. Actually, all these other ones, I have a lot of turn-ins it looks like, but I don't really care about those quests too much, just wanting to settle in with the Annuminas. And as a reminder from the first part, the main thing we actually did was some instances. Didn't do the full Annuminas instance. I think we did the first 2 wings, and then when I was gone, my kin did not the last wing. They might have done the last wing. It is possible they did the last wing, but I know for sure they did Tomb of Elendil. So as far as the quests I have to do, I am not entirely sure what I actually need to do for those. It looks like just kill a bunch of mobs for the Untoward Aggression. Need some ranger flags, that's probably a good one to focus on as we go out and do things. Collect supplies is probably going to be good. That is from hidden stores. That is an NPC. Dunedain? Dunedain. Dunedain is the name of like a human type creature, I think. A humanoid. But yeah, it'll probably take me a moment to settle in. Again, I have to remind myself what I even need to do, and there's a hidden cache. That is what we were doing. It seemed like all throughout Gondor is just finding all these hidden caches of the rangers. And I remember that being a thing in Annuminas, even though we only got, it looks like, one of those before. Well, we got one. It looks like some of the caches might be entirely empty. So a good thing to do, I feel like, in Annuminas is go through things in a specific order, and at least in my experience, I've only done this whole thing a couple times, I believe, but try to make sure you don't have to run back too much. So as I go probably counterclockwise throughout this place, I will try to make sure I get all the quests that I have done on the way in that path. And I feel like by now, I always worry that my chat is not working, but I know it's been a long while since I've streamed, so perhaps that could just be slow today, which is fine. But now that things are settled down a little bit, I will go ahead and start a little bit with the channel update. And just to explain my recent absence, especially from streaming, I have had a few videos and have been working on videos, but my main absence from streaming has honestly been because I have not been too much in the mood for LOTRO lately. And one of my big things, I guess, with content creation and stuff in general is if I am not enjoying something, I don't want to force myself to play LOTRO to stream LOTRO, because then I, one, don't think my content would be good, and it'd probably have negative effects down the road if I like try to force myself to play just to have streams of it. So yeah, not really being too much in the mood for LOTRO is the main reason the past like week or two that I have not been playing quite as much. But the good news is, with this stream, I'm hoping doing something like this, not going back to North Ithilien. I'll talk about North Ithilien and the Waste a little bit later in my Warden, but doing something different, just doing some solo quests here in Annuminas. I think this will be something that I can enjoy, definitely, and will make me maybe spark some interest for me to do things more like this, and less like what I've been doing on my Warden with, again, the Waste in North Ithilien. Let's see, get this hidden cache. I am doing really bad at actually collecting supplies. This one looks empty, but apparently had supplies in it. We are getting some cages. Oh, did not realize these were cages until we looked up. They feature some skeletons, it looks like. Looks quite stormy. Unlike the thumbnail was a picture from Lake Evendim of Annuminas. I think it especially had Telenoon featured in it. But the sky was actually blue, unlike the regular Evendim, and here is pretty stormy and creepy and evil Angmorum looking. Did not mean to use that. That skill is really weak when I don't get a crit on it. I have to remind myself how to play Burglar as well. Can't just go running in and using Surprise Strike. I also had that on number 4 on my skill bar because it is weak. It's something I prefer to not use if I don't have to. It's that type of thing that I basically only use it if it's my only skill available. Hey there, Salty Scrunt. You are the first person. Good to know my chat is working, at least with you, but you are the first person to join this. As I was talking about, it's been a while since I've streamed, so I could definitely see things being slow. I think that has happened in the past when I've taken little breaks, that either for some reason the streams just don't pop up for people anymore, or maybe some people lose interest, which I hope would not be the case. Right, how many more of these cages do we need? Just 2 more. And there are perfectly 2 right here. Also, there are some named NPC that I either needed for a quest or for a deed, and I'm guessing it was for a deed because I don't see any quest progress as far as the Gulderkir guy goes. I think that is everything I needed to do in this little area. There's actually monuments of Ingmar. There's a monument of Ingmar right there, that big flashing thing that I missed. And it's a good thing I checked because, as I mentioned with Annuminas, I feel like making sure I get everything on my path counterclockwise will be very good, so I don't have to run back up for things like that. Probably good for me to kill all the Ingmarum I see because I'll need to get that advanced deed done. I won't need to get the advanced deed done, but I would like to get the advanced deed done. But yeah, otherwise, going back to what I was talking about on the Warden and not really feeling too much in the mood to play LOTRO lately. Wow, the sky's really cleared up out here. I guess it was just that camp with all the Ingmarum that it got super evil. It's kind of cloudy looking, but still very bright compared to what we had just a moment ago. With my Warden, I feel like I just got burnt out of Gondor content and doing stuff on my Warden. I started, I think back in February, going back to the Warden and Gondor series. I might have done like 2 or 3 or 4, maybe even 5 parts before I really started going on it and very consistently playing my Warden and doing all the Gondor stuff on my Warden. So I just kept going with that, and then we got the new 105 content just as I was getting to a point where I was ready for that, so I just kept going on that Warden, on that character, and that content. I think I just ultimately got burnt out because I don't really feel like doing much on that character, which kind of is unfortunate. My Ken hasn't been doing the new raid that we have on the server, Throne of the Dread Terror, yet. So I haven't really been missing out on that, and most of the group content is stuff I have already done, so I haven't also felt like I'm missing out too much on stuff overall. I will say Langruben, that is something my Ken already did the intro quest for that, so that might be something that I actually need to do still on my warden to participate in that activity as like the final thing I feel like I need to do besides Throne of the Dreadhare, which my kin has not gotten to. And that would be the main thing I have of interest left to do on that character. There is still the book quest and that type of stuff going on, with I think finishing up Volume 4, that I would eventually like to get done, but just need a little bit of a break from that character. And I already find it fun, just speaking of a break from that character, find it fun playing my Burglar here, and I actually have to pay attention. This is something unusual. One thing I wanted to talk about today, after we finished all the channel update stuff, which for all I knew would take like half an hour or an hour for me to get through it all. One thing I did want to talk about was the landscape difficulty slider coming in update 30, because I think there are a lot of interesting things there. I should have burgled him. I meant to burgle him, and then I saw too late that I just stood right in front of him and he happened to see me. I think I also need to use the diversion skill for a class deed that would be good to get done. Did I burgle anything? It does not look like it. But I think it's interesting to talk about that in Annuminas, because this place is relatively dangerous. It's got a lot of signatures and such. There are some camps that might have elite masters, an elite master or something like that. I played that fairly poorly as well. But yeah, a place like this I think could be extra interesting, I guess, with the landscape difficulty slider. But as I talked about in my video on that topic, one of my biggest concerns is that it will be something I might do when the new server comes with it, assuming that is actually what happens. I don't think it's been 100% confirmed, announced that, like formally announced that it's going to be on a new server for sure. Let me see if I have any consumables. I have a lot of potions. Again, reminding myself how to play LOTRO in the middle of this. I probably already have the best gear equipped on my character. I have some level 40 items I see, which I obviously cannot equip yet. I'm level 39 it looks like, but no regular consumables like food. Usually my characters have tons of food that I just need to eat just to get rid of, but not this one. Anyway, one of my biggest concerns with the landscape difficulty slider is turning up the difficulty will not be rewarding. So then I just won't bother playing with that after a month or two, just lose interest in that feature entirely, would be my biggest concern. So something like Annuminas, as I'm doing on my Burglar, while I wouldn't mind it being a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more difficult, my character being relative to the enemies weaker, I guess the concern is for me to spend all my time doing that versus just going through it on normal, as I am right now, is that it won't be rewarding for my time doing that. And I know there are a lot of concerns, as I mentioned once again in the video, with like, I'm not really sure exploits would be the best way to describe it, but maybe abusing the system. If they make it very rewarding for you to go through like high tier difficulty on the landscape, it's something that's very easily abusable, as they have it implemented in the update 30 beta, because you could, one, just have somebody not on that difficulty, on like normal difficulty, just plow through the landscape. I actually don't know how it works if you group up with somebody, but even if you don't group up with them, they can just kill mobs for you. And you could also, if they make it like a thing where you turn in quests while the difficulty is up, you could just do the quests on normal difficulty and then turn in quests. Turn the difficulty up and then turn in quests. So I could see that being an issue if they made it rewarding for doing quests. And I think there are a few ways around that, but those are, I guess, just some examples of how I foresee them making it too rewarding being a problem, essentially. But at the same time, I just feel like it's something I would lose interest in fairly quickly if they don't make it rewarding. It looks like I need to go back and get some things. Wish upon a star. I need to collect some coins, apparently. Oh, they're in the water, I believe. There is a quest for coin diving in LOTRO, but you still just stand at the top of the water and somehow get the coin. Unfortunately, there is no thing underwater in the game. I could see that being some issues there if they had it, but wow, I can pick that coin up really far away. Same with that one, wherever it is. Hello, Clifford Gears. You said this is one of the most relaxing areas for you. I wonder if you mean Evendim or Annuminas specifically. I could definitely see Evendim as a whole being relaxing. Annuminas, I'm not entirely sure Annuminas could be relaxing for me, but definitely could see it for Evendim. Keep hitting N instead of M. So the next quest I need is Untoward Aggression, and that is probably showing, yeah, the Gurthrag, the big troll things, Gorthrog, I think. So as far as burglars go, I believe I can just sneak past all these people, but that is not too fun overall. So I would rather just attack them all. One problem I always find with the Burglar, if I have not played it recently, is I forget what all my shift and control bar skills do. I have a general idea. F3 is going to be riddle, and then F1 is going to be my addle, the one that interrupts inductions. But that's something I kind of realized in that fight, is I kind of forgot exactly what all of these did. I think I've talked about this before, but the Burglar might be my least played class in all of LOTRO. It also could be the Minstrel. It'd be up between those two, whichever one of those that I played the least. Don't need to focus on the Gorthrog up there. I know I keep seeing that thing on my mini-map, and that's why I keep, like, leaning towards that area, I guess. Wonder what level I get the skill to be changed to not be in the crit chain. Happens at some point. Practice Bluff, I believe it's that one, so I still need 13 more trait points on this character, actually just 12 more trait points on this character, but I know that significantly changes the Burglar gameplay once you get that. Alright, up here, do I need anything? Time of Need. Time of Need is going to be the supplies. There might be one up on this side, but I can't quite tell based on the map, and it does look like there's a hidden cache right there for me to test. And this guy saw me. This guy saw me, but that one back there still talking to nobody. Which is sometimes exactly how I feel like when I am streaming, especially when it's been a while. This happened more so. I don't feel that weird about it in today's stream, but I know the last stream I did, the Update 30 beta one, it really felt like I was just talking to myself, even with a bunch of people in chat and all that usual stuff. Just takes a minute, I guess, to get back used to talking like this. I have something I don't need floating names on, but Untoward Aggression once again has, I think, maybe a Gorthrog can spawn there. Not entirely sure, but up this way there should be some hidden caches, which reminds me, I think I forgot to pick up the hidden cache over here. We're running into some of the Burglar slowness. While they can, I guess the gameplay, depending on how you actually play the Burglar, if you really play towards their methodical gameplay, which is relatively slow with like stealthing around enemies and all that sort of stuff, running into a little bit of that, but usually my playstyle on the Burglar is kind of as you all have seen. I do stealth around before combat, usually, but then I still like to fight things, don't really sneak past everything, so I feel like I'm extra slow on the Burglar because of that, actually. So we do have an Elite Master here. I shouldn't have a problem, really, dealing with these guys. I do want to attempt to burgle one of them, though. That would be ideal. And I got a potion. I believe that was a power potion. Alright, now I can get them. So I'm going to, actually, let's just riddle that guy. Oh, he's immune to riddles. That is okay. I have a lot of debuffs. Should go ahead and remove some of those. My main concern right now is actually that dread. That's really decreasing my total morale. Try and get that sorcerer before he gets induction off, and I was not successful in that. I'm going to have to use a potion. I might have to use one of my other potions as well. Oh, he just stunned me. That looks like the test of will skill that lore masters use. And hello, Abomination. I will get to your message in a moment. Actually, I am dead, so I'll get to your message right now. And you said you just closed your client. You were questing with your tortoise kinship. Oh, you're Burglar and Annuminas as well, it sounds like. Yeah, that's what my kin was doing. But I think they have pretty much moved on from there. We did one part. The first part we did the Annuminas instance. This is a nice view of the Evendim Lake. I need to get more screenshots for this character. I don't know how long this little mini-series will go. Today's stream, I think I meant to mention at least, will be relatively short. I don't know if I can pick these up. Apparently I can pick these up. This character must be an explorer. But anyway, Abomination, thank you for joining the stream. It looks like you have to go. It is bedtime for you, which, especially if you are in a place in Europe or somewhere thereabout, I could definitely see that being the case. I know I'm also streaming a little bit earlier than normal today because this is basically when I can fit it in. That is another thing that has been going on that I didn't really talk too much about, is I am still adjusting to the summer schedule that I will be having this year. So it is possible that there could be more streams at this time a little bit earlier in the evening or late in the afternoon, depending how you want to call it. We can go ahead and, I guess, just plow through this. The other option, again, an advantage of the Burglar, is I could just stealth through this all and stealth past all of them if I really wanted, but that is not really my playstyle. I can just kind of sneak past that one without actually using stealth. Yeah, that is really weak when it does not crit. Guess I'm reminding myself why I don't actually use that skill. Another advantage to the skill I have in slot 1 here, Provoke, is it's actually ranged, 15 meter range. And it is, in my experience, the strongest critting skill that I have. Of course, in a fight with an enemy with a lot of health like the Elite Master that we were fighting earlier, doing Cunning Attack would usually be better to actually use out of stealth when you have a guaranteed crit for all of the bleed damage that will out damage the bonus crit damage from Provoke or something else. Okay, I might actually just get on my mount so we can get through this. I want to make a little bit of progress, even though I probably will be streaming just a little bit over an hour today. I do want to make a little bit of progress with the questing here. Also, we don't actually have Orchalwe out. And again, if anybody knows if it's Orchalwe or Orchalwe, please do let me know so I'm actually calling him the right thing. See, the best way to get back to where I was... Actually, this could be a good point. I could go ahead and head to the boat area. I don't know. I feel the need to go back and get that Elite Master that we left by over there. It'll just take me a moment to get back up. Yeah, there was something, I kind of lost my train of thought. I was going on about something and I forgot what it was. Class deeds, burglarize. Burgle your foes. That is one reason I need to use burgle. Even though it's kind of weird that I focus on class deeds for a character like this, because this is probably a character that will be either abandoned or reserved for something else after I finish Annuminas on him. I don't know that it'll be fully abandoned. Don't really abandon characters until they're in their level 80s. Which that reminds me, there's another thing that I did want to go on about today and share some of my plans for the update 30 stuff. I don't know update 30 stuff, but whatever the new server. Maybe when the landscape difficulty slider thing comes out. some potential things for the new server with that, and some possibilities for when that goes onto all these servers, so like Anor, as I am on now. Basically, maybe making some new characters, and Guardian and Runekeeper were two of the ones that I was thinking, because both my Guardian and Runekeeper, they're my two highest level characters that are lower level than my Warden, so my second and third highest level character on this server. And they are at a point in the game where I just don't really want to play them, is the unfortunate thing about it. Even though I still like the classes, the Guardian class and the Runekeeper class I still like, I just don't really want to play those characters. I kind of feel like they have gotten past the fun era of LOTRO, and it's going to be a while before they would get to the, what I consider the next phase of the fun era, which would be, from my experience in the content, would be a bit after Mordor, mainly with the, potentially with the Arid Mithrin stuff, but especially with the Minas Morgul level 130 stuff. I think that is some of the more fun content we have had, at least group content wise, since, I don't even know when, since, probably since Rise of Isengard. This time I'm stealthing past everything. It is an advantage of the Burglar. I feel the need to, at least sometimes, use that. Oh, and it looks like the Rangers have overtaken this place without me. Alright, let's summon Orchalwe, because he is supposed to be helping us this whole time. One issue actually with summoning him that I remember is he would always run to enemies and get me breaking my stealth. Alright, so there are some hidden caches that I need to look at over here. There's one to the south. No, that's actually untoward aggression. Never mind on those hidden caches. There might be some in Turband here. There is at least one. I feel like I was talking about something with this Burglar and Annuminas, but I honestly forgot what I was going on about, so hopefully I did actually finish my train of thought, whatever that was. What are this character's virtues like? Well, I don't even have loyalty equipped, and that's the one I do want to probably earn loyalty first. I don't know how I got a point in tolerance. Usually I wouldn't want to do that. My general priority for anybody curious with the virtues on a character like this would be loyalty, then wit, then valor, then, yeah, determination, and then confidence. I will have a video coming up on that, but that is the very short version. So that is why I am unsure how I got tolerance or honor, either of those two, ranked up a little. And I unequipped something, unequipped tolerance. But yeah, that's another thing with a character like this. I talked about the class deeds and maybe not really doing much of the... Not really much point, I guess, in finishing the class deeds and focusing on them too heavily, because I will likely not really go towards high progression on this character where it really matters that I get that stuff. But it's also the same thing with the virtues, even though I'd like to complete the deeds just for, like, completionist sake. The virtue XP won't be of the biggest use for a character like this. This is a weird chunk taken out. Alright, so the white quest, I keep having to remind myself the white quest is one I don't really care about since it's just for those Gorthorog here. This one I might be able to pull pretty cleanly. Actually, not cleanly at all. I really have to stop using Surprise Strike. It is not that good of a skill. I feel like 4 is just a really convenient, after having not played a while, the Keybind 4 is just really convenient for me to hit. That's also what I use on my Warden a lot, because that is the Gamut default location, so I'm always pressing 4 on the Warden, and perhaps that's why I just see it have something there, so I just hit it. Hello, Shiniro. It's good to see more people in. I know this has been, chat-wise, a little bit of a slower stream, which is okay, but since it has been a while, it is good to see some more people joining in. I feel like Orchalwe was giving me a heal or something earlier. And fights are slow when you do not get a crit on a Burg. Got lots of debuffs. Yeah, there he is healing me. Very nice to have him heal me, even if he does break me out of stealth sometimes. That is a nice feature that he brings. So we have to destroy this monument of Angmar. I am worried. I thought I had more quests, but it does not look like I do have all the good quest tracks, so we are not missing out on much. I guess I finished the supplies. No, I only need one more supply. And the banners, there was something, no, flags. I think it was the cages. Some of the quests I did way earlier. I just feel like I have more quests than I actually do, I guess, so we're making good progress. Again, as an update, I will probably be streaming only around half an hour longer. I know a shorter than usual stream, but I thought it would be good since I had the opportunity to do this and kind of wanted to. Thought it would be better to have a shorter stream than no stream this afternoon, I suppose. Alright, so we are headed up, I believe, to the little island till at noon there. And the best way is not to sneak by them like that. Well, I can't anyway with Orchalwe here. But the best way was going to be attack them anyway. There's a brawler. I just feel like every single brawler in the game, I notice a lot more now that we have that being like an upcoming class and all that. Which, by the way, I should make a video on the Brawler because it is very concerning that it is not in beta yet. I feel like for a new class it should be in beta really early. But I'm not sure if they really do that. I completed some deed. City of the Kings. I'm guessing I just explored everything in Annuminas here. Alright, I'm going to try... Never mind. I might have to actually dismiss Orchalwe because I do want to burgle these enemies still. The whole point of being here is I am burgling all the burglars. Which I'm not even sure this place is comprised mostly of tomb robbers. It seems more so to be Angmar. Dismiss. Also, it'd help if I am not bleeding. Alright, take a minute to sell my stuff. Oh, there's probably a bunch of stuff that I need to lock here. I will look through all this later. Lock anything that looks potentially useful, which is tons of stuff it looks like. And then I will, at some point in the future, probably never go back and look at it, to be honest, but maybe some point in the future I'll actually look at this. And I don't think I want that dagger. That helmet, probably don't want. The shoulder pads, I don't think I want overall. Same with these gloves. The earring right here. That one's pretty close, but I don't think I want the low level one. But yeah, with the Brawler, a concern that I feel like is growing for me is that it is not in beta yet. I was, in a way, actually hoping that it would come in the Update 30 beta, not necessarily be ready to be released in the Update 30, but I thought it would have been nice if it came with the beta, so we could get an early look at testing that, especially because they want the class, it sounds like, to be ready for a Gundabad pre-order, which I'm guessing that would be anywhere from August to October. October, not October, because I could see the class being released. My guess is either October or November for Update 31 Good and Bad to come out. I don't actually know this. I don't have any inside information. If I did, I would make videos on it, but yeah, I don't have any extra knowledge. But that is just my suspicion that it will be either October or November for the release of Good and Bad. And if they want the Brawler ready for pre-order for that, I could see that being anytime August. August is unlikely. I think overall, maybe September or October for that, or even early November potentially. And for a class that is coming out that soon, I would overall hope it's in beta right now so people could test it, work out all the bugs, the balance with it, give feedback on how they enjoy it, animations, all sorts of stuff like that, so there is time for it to be fixed up enough before release. And one of the reasons for that is I honestly still feel like the Burgling, at least the DPS spec, still feels like it's in beta after like 6 years or something that the class has been out. I don't remember exactly when the Burgling was released, but that is something I still feel like about the Burgling. I don't know if it being in beta earlier than it was. I don't even know when that class came to beta before it was actually released, but that is just one thing I feel like could help with the Brawler. Anyway, Telegar, you are wondering where the cosmetic outfit I got, and this is something you can't tell anybody, but it's actually a Warden outfit. It is not a Burglar outfit. But where I actually got it is the jacket of the Spearway. The Spearway would be the set, and it's from Dunland. More specifically, there's a little travel thingy somewhere here to take you to the Ox Clan, I believe is the name of it, which is going to be in Isengard. There's like some sort of camp somewhere that you go to. I think it's in Isengard. Somewhere in Nankiranir, maybe. But anyway, the point is it's one of the level 75 sets from Rise of Isengard. And I think you can barter for it just for like marks and medallions nowadays, but I had to barter for it on my Warden, and I actually used the outfit on my Warden. It's dyed Evandin blue for my Warden set, and then I don't know if it's dyed for the Burglar set or if it's the natural dye. It doesn't look like it says the dye on all these things. But yeah, that is where I got this outfit, and I feel like it actually works very well for a Burglar for being a Warden cosmetic. That guy looks like a big boss, except he's only a signature. I feel like this is a situation where this guy looks like he's supposed to be tougher than all the mobs I have faced so far, but he's a signature just like all these little Ingmarm. And what skill did I get here? Practical Joke. Alright, I will have to keep that somewhere so I can be sure to use it the next time I group with people. And hello, Ace Hampion. I am doing well today overall and making good progress. I'm surprised I have knocked out a few quests. I haven't, of course, knocked out all the quests, but I feel like I made good progress, especially considering I've only got about maybe 20 to 30 minutes more in the stream before I have to get going. Well, I actually have to look at the quest rewards. There is the potential that one of these rings could be an upgrade over one of my low-level crafted rings, or probably not the physical mastery one. See, we had one with agility. That would... I thought I read that as over 2,000 crit rating, but that was not the case. So this one has the potential. This one, maybe. That one's not that good, but we can look at it. Look at all these rings. And I think those are the only ones I really have much interest in. Just to be fair, I would rather the current ring I have than something like that. Same with this one. So the only possibility is if one of these rings is better than what I currently have equipped. And what I currently have equipped, the one I'd want to replace is this one. And it's not looking likely that I would actually replace it. Yeah, I don't think any of these rings are upgrades, unfortunately, so we'll just take the top one and get moving on, and accept his new quest. I feel like I need to get him in the thumbnail in one of my later streams. actually get. That lets me zoom in. I'm trying to zoom on this character so it can be in a thumbnail later. There we go. Oh, there is one more thing I need to do back up here, it looks like. I thought I defeated the Titan. Oh no, I didn't get the quest to defeat the Titan until I already defeated the Titan and left. So is there anything else I can do on this island? Probably. I guess that's the reason to have Orchalwe out, even if he is messing up my stealth stuff. Hello, Cosmic Star. You said you have a question about the future of LOTRO, and it's a multi-part question. Well, as long as it doesn't take me like 30 minutes to go over it, you can shoot those questions, especially chat has been quiet today, so any sort of question like that to talk about. I feel like I talked about most of the stuff I wanted to talk about, which was the channel update and why I haven't been streaming too much recently. And then the second part was about the landscape difficulty slider. And then apparently the third part was about the brawler, but that was very brief. That's something I think I should make a video on and think about a little bit more. So after the Gundabad expansion, it seems like there are endless possibilities, to be honest. They have not announced anything or given any sort of hint for after Gundabad. One thing I could see is something around Gundabad. So I would personally be interested in Foradwaith. I know that's kind of near the Gundabad, Orchalwe, Angmar area, a little bit north, and there could be some interesting things there. Also because I like frozen zones. Yeah, basically frozen, snowy, cold type zones. So I think it would be interesting to have another zone, especially, I don't know if it would look quite like Orchalwe, but another zone like Orchalwe. I would be interested in that, but again, I don't know. Could also be a little bit Misty Mountains-ish if they did that. But I feel like they could do that. Just one reason to do that would be to connect, like just give better connection, I guess, between Arid Mithrin, Gundabad, Ingmar, and then maybe even going all the way Misty Mountains of Orchalwe with all those and making everything a little bit more interconnected, even though I'm not sure that is what they will do. That's just something that I think would be neat. And then another possibility is they start finishing out Eriador a little bit. I think a lot of people might enjoy that, like an update, maybe one update a year, kind of Wildwood style updates that just continues more stuff throughout Eriador. I would be interested in that overall, but I think the most likely places for them to go is either Rune or Harad. There is also the possibility that they would go to Nirn and do like Sea of Nirn and stuff and maybe connect that to Harad. Maybe even after they did Harad and then Khand and then maybe Nirn, that would be a long way away. And we have Gandalf in chat. Hello to Gandalf. Gandalf is often featured, sometimes featured at least in my thumbnails. Orchalwe's being very creepy right now. Yeah, the east shores of the continent, that is something you cannot even see on this map. I know a lot of this is uncharted for all we know. I guess maybe there could be a sea right here, although I would assume it unlikely. But yeah, going all the way to the east past Rune and past Khand would be interesting. And Cosmic Star, I do not know what's on the east coast. I don't know if Khand and Rune both actually go to an east coast way to the east. And yes, Gandalf is also my Discord icon thumbnail thing. I believe that Gandalf is the one that is in Breeland and the such. But yeah, I'm guessing either Harad or Rune. I could see either of those. I actually have interest in both of those. Doing a lot of the content around there on my Warden has made me interested in Harad and going down there as well as Rune. And I believe if I look at the map behind me, Umbar is going to be that place. I had to remind myself the name, but there is also Umbar way down here, which would be a possibility. Yeah. Oh, I must be. I heard the noise of combat. Thought my cat was making a weird noise for a moment. The other continent on the west. Oh, that is... I don't remember exactly. Oh yeah, we need to go back and get the Titan. That is why I was waiting. Because we killed the Titan, then we got a quest to kill the Titan. I really need to stop using Surprise Strike. It is not a good skill. It's probably better to use Surprise Strike than Throw Knife, but that's actually kind of close. So Gandalf, your Discord thumbnail is also Gandalf. Wow, it took a while, but things have gotten busy in the stream, which is good. It's probably why I shouldn't just randomly stop streaming for a week, but again, I haven't been too much in the mood to play LOTRO all that much lately. And Alexei, I do not have any characters on Evernight. I also don't know many people that play on Evernight. Alright, so we got that. We need to talk to Orchalwe again. Alright, so got that done, and we need Honoring the Dead, which will be strong boxes down here. And we still need one more supply, which looks like that is actually before I cross the bridge, so maybe I should go ahead and go back and do that. Now I know 2 people that play on Evernight. And Jeff Decker, you're wondering, you said where in the timeline is the game set after all the existing expansions? The current timeline going on with Gundabad, I believe, is after the Minas Morgul stuff, which is after... Actually, the Gundabad might be after Volume 5, timeline-wise. Trying to make sure, I'm just reading all the chat and trying to make sure I caught up on everything. But yeah, Cosmic, sorry, I'm not entirely sure on the continent to the west. And also not sure, again, where the east coast would be as far as east of Rune and Khand over there. It would all be interesting stuff. I would be very interested, I guess, in exploring the areas that aren't really too much in the movies or maybe even books. I'm not as familiar with the books, of course, with The Lord of the Rings. But I think I need to go down for this, maybe? I'm still looking for the caches here. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is probably just head back for turn-ins. I know this has been a short stream, but as I mentioned, that is what it would be today since I have to get going in a few moments. So I'm going to just start heading back to the camp and see what I can do along the way, heading west and then back up. But what I want to do on the way is the Time of Need quest. Go ahead and get all those treasure caches. Go ahead and use my debuff remover. Alright, we can see if there are any caches here, and it also does not look like it. For some reason, the way I pictured this, I remember it now that I'm here, and I think there is a way, if I went with the things in order. Actually, I want to explore this. I'm trying to remind myself, I guess, the path through Annuminas, but the way I thought I would go through this is counterclockwise. So essentially I would go here and then go up to Tilanun and then come back down and go on this road and then do all that stuff and then return to camp. I did not think I would get through all that today. I didn't even think I would get to Tilanun. For some reason, I thought there was a lot more to do in here and it would take forever. That so far has not been the case. Well, I guess it wasn't the case because I've already gotten to Tilanun. But maybe I can go ahead and just run through this and see what it looks like here. I think the last time I did Annuminas was one of the characters on the Legendary server. A 24-man raid would be interesting, although I doubt it would actually happen. I do think that would be interesting. There's a good chance that I die right here. This would be the downside of turning difficulty up with the landscape difficulty feature coming, is pools like this would be significantly harder, if not impossible. But now I can go crazy and pull all these mobs right here, and so far live. The Burglar doesn't have much AoE, have some 3-target AoEs, or at least at this level 1 3-target AoE. Also, I am not playing this character all that well right now. And I just died. I could have hid in plain sight or done... Yeah, probably hide in plain sight would have been my option there. But yeah, maybe we can actually look for the supplies. Think on the bright side, this gets me back on the path to just go down this road and look for some of the hidden caches. So Morgoth, seeing him in LOTRO, we had Morgoth? I forget who. Somebody had a similar name that we actually have seen. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It might have been Morgoth, but I don't think it was. And do I think PvMP should be free? I am not sure on that. With all the stuff they make you buy in the game, I don't think it would be a problem for PvMP to be free. It would, as you mentioned, also it increased the number of players in PvP. So for that, I think it could be good. Perhaps what they could do is for free peoples, the freeps, they can make it free to access the wars in PvP, but maybe to go through like reward stuff or quests or whatever content there is there. I forget exactly what there is there in the end wars. Is they could perhaps make some of that stuff where you have to unlock it, but then just going about PvMPing could be free. If they still wanted to monetize it, I would be in favor, of course. The more stuff that is free, the better as far as I'm concerned, but that is just not too realistic. So Gandalf, he said that you are, getting back to your message, you are, wait for it, I have to deal with some Angmarum, then we'll find out what Gandalf is doing. There, I got one strong attack. So you are level 64 and you're waiting to get out of Mirkwood, and I've actually heard that from more than one other person, is that, oh, I tried to burgle him, but I was too slow. I wonder how I am doing like 8 damage. I wonder if this gives me a reflect. Yeah, this reflects 30% damage. So that's when all these really low damage number comes up. I think that is what it's from, the reflect there. So yeah, you get out of Mirkwood and you get into Lothlorien, which is a nice pretty area, but then you go straight back to a depressing area where you can barely see this guy maybe. I don't remember seeing this guy all that much in Moria. I don't remember if we can defeat this guy. I remember I tried. Just gotta get some hits, but he's 9 levels above me, so there's, as you all see, a good chance that he just deflects all my attacks, but this is a fun challenge, I suppose. I don't know how fun it is when all of your attacks miss, but it gives me some sort of challenge. I might have to kill the spider, which is already dying from my AoEs. I have to use a potion. I might have to use hide in plain sight here, unfortunately. And I think, as I'm mentioning that, I think I'm reminding myself that that is what I had to use earlier, so I'll go ahead and use that. For people that don't know, don't really play Burglar, they do have a skill, shortened to hips, hide in plain sight, which, yeah, you basically vanish in the middle of combat or whatever. Long cooldown, but very effective. I don't remember if it removes debuffs or not. Like if you're bleeding, I don't think it removes those. Oh yeah, I could definitely see Moria was the same for me, and Goblin Town is just a huge cave. The most recent experience I have in Goblin Town was running with a few people throughout that. I do want to, yeah, get these hidden caches. That is the last thing that I want to do today. But yeah, Goblin Town is such a huge cave system, and I was fortunate to have run it when I did it on the server with my lore master, I believe. That could have been my warden. Or maybe it was my lore master. I think it was my lore master. Back when I was doing that Anor LM series. Did I get it? I did not get the last tenant supply. Alright, we do have to actually go back this way. But yeah, it's pretty tough with Goblin Town trying to navigate it if you don't have anybody there to help you. I think it would be interesting for me to try that, especially without looking at a map. Talk often about the landscape difficulty, how tough it is to defeat enemies or how easily they can defeat you and that type of stuff. Of course, with the landscape difficulty slider coming up at some point in the near future, it's been a big topic. But sometimes I feel like a bigger challenge can be going through stuff like that, Goblin Town, without looking at any resources and just trying to go through it with what you have in game. I wonder if I need to defeat Ceradan. I want to defeat Ceradan. If I actually use my good combos, I can sometimes defeat enemies. Something that hasn't happened too frequently today, to be honest, but a group of 4 signatures like this should be no problem for me to deal with, especially with all the crowd control. Even in a fight like this, I haven't had to use Riddle, which would just basically negate one of those enemies for 30 seconds. All quests and deeds is quite a lot of content. That's something I used to not really like to do so much, but yeah, it can definitely take a while, and I could see that happening in Moria if you do all the quests and deeds in Moria and staying in there forever. What do I need to do? There's something to the west, and that is going to be Monuments of Angmar, which is something I will be doing later. And this is, again, I know it's a little bit early for me to be wrapping up a stream, just going on about an hour here today. That is about all the content I think I have to do on this character as we make our way back to camp. We will defeat some Angmar. I won't just go entirely stealth mode. I got some treated leather boots. Those don't appear to be too good. I sometimes wonder how you burgle things like that. Like, I just took his shoes off and he did not even notice. And I used my bad skill. Surprise Strike at least is not that bad if you have the guaranteed crit on it, but otherwise it's pretty bad. So Shiniro, you were leveling your Burglar. Oh, just early leveling with the Burglar was challenging for you. So yeah, one thing with the Burglar is, especially at low levels, they don't have much AoE. They used to not even at high levels have much AoE. Now you get, at least Double-Edged Strike hits 3 enemies, and the same goes for whenever I get it Flashing Blades, which that should be a big upgrade for this character, by the way, when I get that. Perhaps we will get that while I'm running through the Annuminas stuff, but I kind of doubt it. But yeah, I'm trying to think some stuff that I can do in the future, because I might go back to my Warden. Perhaps just going on my Warden could get me interested in the character again. But some options for the future is continuing to do Annuminas on my Burglar. Or another thing I was thinking is my Lore Master and Lothorian the LMNL miniseries. I have to clear my throat. And Gandalf, that Lord of the Rings map was from Amazon. It is, if I show this here, looks like this. Tapestry style, I think is what it is. And I really like it. It's surprisingly good for how cheap it was, I guess. I should probably put a link to that. I'm not really sponsored by the people that made it, as nice as that would be. I sometimes feel like I'm selling that map a little bit too much, but I really like it, especially for how cheap it was. It turned out pretty nicely. But yeah, it was on Amazon. It was just a Middle-earth map tapestry, essentially. I don't know why I'm trying to click the summoning horn. Yeah, Burglar leveling is definitely strategic. if you have really good gear and weapons and the such like this character kind of does, it can be fairly simple to go about things. The map was maybe around $15 if I remember correctly. That's why I'm surprised, because it was that cheap, how nicely it turned out. Nowhere near $100. Not even close to 100, that much I remember for sure. But yeah, we'll try to, if I remember, I'll try to actually put that in the description of maybe my streams so people can see that if they'd like. One thing I will say that you all might not be able to see is it might actually look a little bit better on the camera. It's slightly green tinted, but I actually like that. The green tint to me just adds a little bit of color, so it's not some like off yellow looking thing, even though I don't feel like the camera picks up the green quite as much as it looks to me. And yes, it is nice to hang on the wall, but the way it actually looks on the wall in my room is a little bit weird. I just have it really low for the stream background, of course, so that makes it look a little bit weird, but it's okay. Anyway, I think this is a good point to wrap up the stream. I'm not sure, once again in the future, what things will look like, but I'm going to try to maybe do something tomorrow, either work on a video. I mentioned that I've had a few videos that I am working on, and it's just with some of them a matter of actually recording and editing them. I got a lot of stuff mostly prepared on them. I've been returning a little bit more to guide style content lately, kind of unintentionally, but that's just what happens. So might see some more guides, which I know are not helpful for everybody, coming up soon. And my nose is itching, which seems to be a usual thing that happens in streams. It's just this one happens to be happening at the end. Look at my deeds for Evendom. But yeah, I have a few video ideas to work on, also with like talking about the Brawler. That is a big topic, returning to talking about the Bear Warning. I could actually do the Bear Warning followed by the Brawler. A little bit of a two-part video in a way, but also not really at the same time. Just talking about some of the issues I feel like that are going on with the Bear Warning. And then I wonder if I can do any tasks. It's probably pointless for me to do tasks, so we will just leave that. Class deeds. I'm just trying to put up something interesting to look at while I am doing my outro stuff. But Gandalf, sounds like it is bedtime for you, so good night to you. And I think that is a good point to wrap up this stream. And again, on future content, I might be back tomorrow, but I'm not entirely sure. Have to see how my schedule looks as far as that goes. I have honestly not paid attention to anything going on later this week, so we will see what happens with that. As far as this stream goes, I hope you all did enjoy it and me getting back to at least streaming, even though it was short, about an hour of LOTRO. Again, thought that would be better than not doing it at all. And if you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for joining and chatting and watching, everyone.